God doesn't elevate just to elevate. He doesn't bring you into assignment just to bring you into assignment. He puts you in the position to drive when he knows you're ready to drive. And so when I see people saying, I still don't have the husband, I've been celibate for 82 years, or I still don't have this because blah, blah, blah. It's like me saying I've been working out. Y'all, when I was in college, short story, but I signed up to do this half marathon. And I did this half marathon. And y'all, I ate exactly how I had been eating. Waffle House, McDonald's. I was eating everything I had been eating before. And so I could run 20-something miles, and I was running the miles. I mean, by the end, I had been able to run 34 miles. 34 miles. But I had lost no weight. None. I had gained weight. So the whole point of me doing this half marathon and training for it was for me to lose weight. This is in college. But I lost no weight. Why? Because even though I can run the miles, I wasn't eating clean. The only way I could have gotten to where I wanted to go, the goal was that, yes, you work out and you eat clean. You got to do both. I didn't get that concept. A lot of women tell me all the time, I've been waiting. But it's not just waiting. It's not just running the miles. You got to eat clean too. Because I meet a lot of women, they tell me they've been waiting. I've been waiting as well. But my waiting has not been passive. My waiting has been active. God has taken me on a journey. He has taken me through some things. And he has called me out of the boat. I've had to make some sacrifices. I've had to make some clear lefts and some clear rights. I've had to do it. I've had to focus on purpose and allow God to prove me in the process. So yes, you may have waited and you might be celibate, and that's great. But are you allowing yourself to be processed? And that is what I see a lot of times. Women want a lot, but they're not willing to give a lot. And in this process, if you're looking for a man, if you're looking for a husband, if you're looking for a job, if you're looking for a promotion, you have to give. You have to sacrifice. You cannot run from the process. Can't run from the process. God's timing is his kindness. God's timing is his kindness. God's timing is his kindness. I don't care if you sit here and you've been celibate for most of my life. I met women that say they've been celibate since 89. I was born in 89. That does not sound attractive to me. I don't want to be celibate for 30-something years. That I love that you've been able to be celibate for 30 years. I pray that I ain't got to wait that long for my man. No, I don't want to wait that long. 2 years feel like a long time. 2+ years. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that, look. I've been waiting years. 30 years? No. Like, what am I doing? You're not going through process. I can sit here and I can be waiting on God, but I don't know how to act. I don't know how to talk to no man. I don't know how to talk to no human being. I don't know. I am not allowing myself to deal with the wounds that I'm carrying. I have not dealt with the unforgiveness in my heart. I have not addressed the childhood wounds that inevitably come up whenever I'm triggered. I have not dealt with the mommy issues, the daddy issues. I haven't dealt with none of that. I just been waiting. Waiting is not passive in God's economy. David was waiting for the kingdom. He was not passively waiting, twiddling his thumbs, waiting for the kingdom. He was fighting, he was warring, and he was learning on the job. God's process is not passive. So yeah, while you waiting, you tap purpose. While you're waiting, you start tapping purpose. And in your purpose, as you're being prepared, God starts cleaning you up. God starts cleaning you up. God's process is not passive. It's always active. Number 3, third thing that you can learn from these women. They trusted God's timing in his process. They trusted God's timing in his process. Number 3, they trusted God's timing in his process. Rebecca, which y'all, we don't give enough to Rebecca. Because Rebecca was a bad mamma jamma. Rebecca didn't even know. I mean, she's being friendly. She's a servant. She's beautiful. She's now welcoming and being hospitable to the stranger that didn't even know this stranger was going to change her life. She just did it because that was her character. She allows him to come to her home where her family is. And the servant breaks down everything. I work for Abraham. He told me this, and this, blah, 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 blah. I see your daughter. I think she's a great match. The one test that we have is she willing to leave her land? He's not going to come here for her. She's got to be willing to go. And they said, we're good with her going. We're good with her going. But we got to ask the girl. We got to ask her. Is she okay with leaving? Because what that servant was asking of her to do was not customary. It did not make sense to everybody around her. That was not how they did things in that day. And without a doubt in her mind, she hopped up on that camel and left everything she knew. She had no idea where she was going. She didn't have an Uber report to know if this was a good 5-star Uber driver. She didn't have a Carfax to know where the car was going. She didn't have a Waze to see where he was taking her. She didn't know the people. She didn't do a background. She had no idea where she was going. She went anyway. Can you imagine that? Ruth. She could have went back to her hometown. She could have went back to her people. She could have. In fact, if Ruth went back home, we wouldn't have batted an eye because that was normal. She said, no, I'm going to defy logic. I'm going to go against what everybody does. And I'm going to do it the way God is telling me to do it. I'm going to follow the promptings of the Spirit. And that's why she got a book in the Bible with her name on it. Esther, like everything she knew. Everything she knew. She didn't know whether the king was going to choose her or not. She didn't know. She's in a competition with all the women in the kingdom. Yet she goes anyway. Goes through this challenging process alone as an orphan. The only family she knows has to talk to her through a gate. She does it anyway. That's not normal. That's extraordinary. It wasn't about love, although love came. It wasn't about the man, although the man came. It was radical obedience to the mission, not the man. Radical obedience to that inner knowing, to that inner spirit that was saying, yeah, Rebecca, get on the camel. Yeah, Ruth, leave your hometown. Don't go back. Yeah. Yeah, Esther, leave the only family you have behind. That inner knowing that no matter what it looked like to other people, sometimes family, we are so fixated, so fixated on what everybody thinks about what we about to do, that we do not step into the purpose God has for us. Let me tell you something. God says he uses the foolish things to confound the wise. Meaning you've got to sometimes look like a fool for Christ. I'm sure that some people think I look like a fool for Christ, but I'm willing to look like a fool for Christ. I'm willing to chase him unapologetically. I'm willing to step out on faith like these women of God. Yeah, we minimize their story, but if you really look at what they did, they left everything behind without a promise for better. They didn't know what they were going to walk into. Ruth didn't know Boaz was going to be the owner of that field, take notice of her. She didn't know that Boaz was the kinsman redeemer. She didn't know. She was just faithful to purpose, and purpose found her. Promise found her. And some of us allow what our family's all done, what our friends have already said, what everybody's going to think, what are they going to do, how they going to do it. God is writing a bigger story for you. You don't get talked about in history following the rules and doing what everybody tells you to do. No. You got to be a disruptor, a chain breaker. You've got to be unapologetic about this thing. And a lot of women, we want things just handed to us. I want the man to just show up. I did. I ain't gonna lie. But God said, look at all the women in the Bible. Look at those wives. Those women had to be willing to walk away from everything. But I met them. Oh, y'all. But I met them with provision. I met them with purpose. And I left them with a partner, a covenant partner. That they came back with triple for their trouble. Not double, triple. Ruth ended up having a son. That son was in the line of Jesus. She came back with a husband. She brought Naomi joy. Esther saved her people. She was able to take care of her uncle who had raised her, and she was able to show the world a different kind of type of woman, a different kind of pedigree of woman that was surrendered to a process that was painful, but she ended up coming out on top because she changed history of that time. Rebecca left everything behind, stepped into Abraham's family, and created the lineage of Jesus, the lineage that people lied to be a part of Abraham's line. Lied. Because Abraham was such a man of God. He was such a man of faith. People were lying to be a part of her daggone lifeline. She was the beginning of the promise of Abraham. Remember, Abraham, the promise was through your son Isaac, you will have sons in many nations. The first son was Isaac. If she didn't leave the promise, she wouldn't have been able to step into the line of Jesus' family. People were lying to be a part of Abraham's lifeline. Lying. And she, not knowing on any level how this story was going to turn out, she did not know the concordance. She did not know the how, the what, the when, and the why. All she knew was that there was some prompting in her spirit that said, go. Go. And in our world, family, we want so badly to have evidence, to make our own decisions, to not let God lead our story. And I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to encourage you. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm congested. Y'all know. To take a risk. To move out on faith. To not play it so safe. And when God calls you, it's not going to be logical. It's not going to make sense to anybody around you. As women, and we want to be Proverbs 31 women, we want to be Ruth and Esther's, we got to be okay with breaking the rules. We got to be okay with leaving comfortable behind. We got to be in our purpose, but not so deep into our purpose that we forget the mission. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Let's not just be every once in a while. Let's become family, okay? Friends that are family, okay? Join my family today.